Ever wonder what would happen to your body if you were suddenly ejected into space, with no spacesuit? Would you explode, freeze instantly, get sucked into a black hole? Well, not exactly. But what actually happens is somehow even more disturbing. Let's break it down, second by second. And yeah, it gets intense real quick. The second you're exposed to outer space, you're in what's called a hard vacuum. No air, no pressure, no mercy. And the first mistake you could make? Holding your breath. Because unlike underwater, there's no pressure keeping your lungs in check. Try to hold that last gasp of air, and your lungs can literally burst. So, rule number 1 in space, exhale. Even if you're panicking, within 10 to 15 seconds your brain starts losing oxygen. You get tunnel vision, your muscles stop cooperating, and then, blackout. You're unconscious. You don't feel anything after this point, which might be a small mercy. Now while you're unconscious, your body's still going through a horror movie in slow motion. Here's what's happening next. Your blood doesn't boil thanks to your circulatory system holding pressure. But your saliva, your tears, the moisture on your tongue, that stuff starts to boil. Not hot boil, pressure boil. It's a process called ebulism, and yeah, it's as gross as it sounds. Your skin starts to balloon out, but no, you don't pop like in the cartoons. You'd swell up to about twice your normal size, but your skin and tissue are strong enough to keep everything mostly contained. Picture the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, but you're not smiling. Here's where it gets weird. Space is both incredibly hot and unbelievably cold at the same time. If you're in direct sunlight, your body can heat up to 250 degrees Fahrenheit, 121 degrees Celsius. If you're in shadow, you can freeze to minus 250 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 157 degrees Celsius. But because space is a vacuum, there's no air to conduct that heat or cold quickly, so you wouldn't freeze instantly. It's a slow, creeping chill, unless something cooks you first. Now, if nobody finds you within 90 seconds, your organs start to shut down, your heart stops. And that's it, game over, space wins. Here's the wild part. If you were rescued within about a minute and a half, you'd probably live. NASA actually ran vacuum chamber tests on animals in the 60s. Dark, I know. And some of them fully recovered after brief exposure. Even one human, a NASA tech, had his suit depressurized during a test. He lost consciousness in 14 seconds, but they saved him. He lived, said his last memory was the saliva boiling on his tongue. So no, you don't explode. But what really happens to your body in space is just as terrifying. Swelling, boiling spit, silent suffocation. Space is not your friend, but damn, it's fascinating. Want to hear what happens if you fall into a black hole next? Or how the moon is slowly drifting away from Earth? Tap subscribe, drop a like, and let's keep exploring this weird universe together. Don't forget to breathe, and never hold it in space. #SpaceFacts, #SciFi Real Life, #What If